Greetings, you guys. So I'm gonna try to make this like a quick message, real quick. um, so I just finished watching this movie that I have not seen in years, um, and it brought me back to this message that Spirit. I'm sure you guys have. If you guys are familiar with my channel and stuff, you guys know. But if you're not, the same messages pretty much I keep getting is. People, being dethroned, people in certain positions of power, whether that's in the job force, workplace, home, community, whatever, the level of influence. Certain people in those positions that are not, right or fit because of their character is unclean, an unclean character, a heartless character, lacking in empathy, lacking in humanity, lacking in compassion, lacking in, being upright, rather, being in an energy of operating in greed and ego and selfishness and self-centeredness and deception, so on and so forth. So it was this movie that came out in the 90s, late 90s, when I was young, and I had the biggest crush on Leonardo DiCaprio, so I never really paid attention to that movie in depth. I remember the whole Musketeer thing back in the day. Like, it was, Leonardo DiCaprio was, I guess, hot back then. Everybody was into him. I had my little white boy phase going on. Anyway, the movie was The Man in the Iron Mask. And I remember me and my cousin would watch that movie religiously, but for some reason, the premise of the movie kind of just skipped me, I guess. So I was watching the movie midway in to where, okay, so the story, if you've never seen this movie before, Leonardo DiCaprio, he plays two characters in the movie. He plays two twin brothers. And it's kind of like a Jacob and Esau story, like in the Bible. But Leonardo DiCaprio, he plays the antagonist and the protagonist. So the antagonist is King Louis, that has a twin brother, and the twin brother is held captive in a prison in the castle with an iron mask on his face. And the antagonist, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, he's pretty much like an a-hole. He's very rude, arrogant, like a spoiled brat, demanding everybody, and so one of the three musketeers, go back, long story short, they break into the castle and they free the protagonist, Leonardo DiCaprio, the other twin brother, and they train him up to be like royal, because they're gonna their whole plan is to infiltrate the palace and switch the brothers out, right? And this is all because of revenge and all of that. That's going too far into detail, but for the sake of this message, Spirit wanted me to pay attention to this movie, obviously, because I came in on the parts that I was meant to see. And long story short, they infiltrate a party that King Louis has, and they place the good twin in place of the bad twin, and they capture him and hide him in a room. And everybody's noticing how kind this king is, and they're like, this is very strange, because mind you, the party was going, and the mean twin, the bad twin, was already at the party, and he was, being himself. Everybody's used to this stuck up mean character, right? So when they switch them out during the party, everybody's like looking at him like, what is this? Like, and one of the main soldiers, I think his name is D'Artagnan, can't remember his name, sorry, he notices something is off. So long story short, this king, he's evil to his own brother. He knows that he put him through a lot of pain, and he knows that he's not a good person, and he's very, very stubborn. That was another thing I noticed about him. He was very stubborn, and he was disrespectful to his own mother. He had no regard for anyone. I don't care if you're my mother, I don't care if you're my best friend, whatever. So at the end of the movie, they take the mean king, the bad one, and they place him back in the dungeon in the place of his brother, where his brother once was, and put the iron mask on him. And I noticed at the end of the movie, they said that the king that they replaced became the most beloved, most prosperous king in the land because he was very generous, he was very giving. And it made me think of the message that God was giving me about the Isaiah 22 and 22 of certain people being dethroned out of certain positions because they don't deserve to be in those positions. Those that are being replaced, those are those that have been tested, tried, and approved by the divine, by God, to be in these places because they have the humble heart to do it. They are in the place to be in authority because it's showing you the contrast of what some people think authority is. Some people think being authority is being the a-hole, like the antagonist character was in the throne, in the kingdom. Some people think that when they get into power, it means that you are above everyone and everyone is this little person and you just treat everybody like crap and you just step on everybody and they're beneath you and I'm better than them, and with your chest all poked out or whatever. Versus real divine authority with someone that is giving to the land, that is giving back to the people, that is prospering the land in multiple ways in one, and has a kind spirit and a kind heart and a forgiving heart. So I just noticed that, that contrast and that, that divine message that spirit was trying to get through to me through that reading, or not through that reading, through that video, movie, whatever. Through this video to get this message out, pretty much. And whoever's listening, if you're not right in your heart, and we're good people and everything like that, but we always have room for correction. But I feel like there's a difference, whether, because you can look at the world and say, why would this type of person be in power? Why we gotta be working for him? Why we gotta be beneath this person? Why do we have to be under the household of this person? This type of, you know what I mean? So there's a shift. There's a shift that's taking place. And you will see that, whether it be in your own life or someone around. You'll see that turnaround in your own life, in your own personal experience, or someone else around you, where you'll see certain people that do deserve to be put in these places because they're going to do well and they're going to do what's right with these positions of power and authority, whether it's be in a household, whether it be in a workplace, whether it be in governmental places and spaces, whatever, the media, maybe even some palaces. Shoot, I don't know. You never know. I heard a story about a girl that learned that she was actually a princess somewhere in Africa. So it's not far-fetched at all. But yeah, this is a message for some of you guys. Like, that is a confirmation from spirit, as a message. Yeah, it's a movie, but God will use the foolish things to confound the wise. We all heard that saying, I'm sure, before. But yeah, I don't want to make this too long. But anyway, be encouraged, y'all. Much love to you. Peace.